What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. Oh my God, the tension is high today. It's all on the line. The final hurdle for Tudor on his Juve rescue mission to get Champions League qualification after everything was derailed with Te Ago Mota, okay? And it's that last hurdle, away from home, Venezia. And it's something Tudor hasn't done since he's been in charge. Get a W away from home. But it's okay, because our backline looks solid as hell. Yeah, okay. We'll get into it all, everybody. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got the Serie A finale on deck. We'll talk Serie A awards. We'll talk the news. We'll talk Conte, Jonathan David, De Bruyne, and Fagioli. And I got a lot of messages for a lot of chihuahuas out there. So we're going to probably have another day session. But I got Lex with me. I got Trim. Lex, how you doing? And I'm sorry, but yes, I always take the heat for being late. So today I did have to throw you under the bus. My apologies.
That's okay. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back. I missed everyone. And yes, it was my fault today. I'm sorry, guys, but we're here now. So I'm excited to get the show going.
That's all that matters. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's great having you. And it feels like a while. I don't know the last time exactly that Lex made an appearance, but we're happy to have you here today for this one. And Trim, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. Looking forward to today's match. I think, I don't know, I'm not as nervous as most people are. I guess it'll maybe hit me like maybe an hour before the game actually starts, but I'm feeling pretty confident about our boys today. I think we just get it done, take care of
Okay,
business,
all
and
right.
start off the off season right away. Let's get going.
I haven't been, despite, the past few seasons, whatever. I can't remember the last time I was actually nervous this far ahead of a match, because I mean, whatever, we got like 5 hours 45 minutes till kickoff, and I'm actually legitimately nervous here, but we are going to go through everything. We got to talk the Serie A finale. Okay, Napoli and Inter both getting the victories that they would have needed. Obviously Napoli getting across the finish line with the Scudetto now. Fans all have their kind of reasoning as to where they go with it and how they feel about it. For me, it is quite simple. I want Inter to get absolutely nothing year in, year out. And the fact that they were talking tripleta, okay, and the treble a few weeks back, I love to see it, okay? Anybody but them, okay? And meanwhile, Antonio Conte, 5 out of 6 seasons managed in Serie A Scudetto, and the 6th was a runner-up. He's got the Premier League title as well. Hey, if there's one thing this guy knows how to do, okay, that blueprint is laid there on winning league there, especially in Italy. Your thoughts on that kind of whole finale and this whole Inter thing I got to talk about, because I put that message out yesterday. Started the daily video that everyone was laughing, a lot of laughs. But some people like, you're going for PSG? I'd rather have an Italian side win. No, I'm sorry. Inter does not qualify as an Italian team as anything other than scumbags. That is all they qualify for, okay? They are not in the world for me at all. At all. Disaster for me would strike if it was Liverpool and Inter.
Oh.
But absolutely no hope in hell in getting me to ever find a way or find some kind of silver lining to actually want them to overtake any other club there in Champions League. This is an easy one for me, and I will be on a 1-match loan to PSG for that one. Lex, Trim, your thoughts on the season finale, Antonio Conte and Forza PSG. But let's start with Lex.
Well, yeah, nobody does it better than Conte. That's it. That's all there is to it. I mean, possibly the greatest league manager. I can't believe he won it with Napoli this season. It's probably the greatest achievement of his career, I think, with the squad that he had. I think that looking back, maybe those takes to bring Conte back to Juve earlier maybe aged better, better than a lot of people expected. And I agree with you, Berto. I think that literally anybody over Inter. And yes, Mitch, I was a Napoli fan on loan Friday, like
Yeah.
admittedly, because anything for Inter to lose, I think if they went trophyless this season, it would be fantastic and
Oh, yes.
hilarious. So we need that to happen. Like you said, Forza PSG. And yeah, it was Forza Napoli on Friday for sure.
100%. 100%. Trim, your thoughts on the finale and then that Champions League final and Conte.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to add. You guys kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, I would never, and I will never cheer for Inter, no matter what the circumstances are. This is actually a debate that gets brought up quite a bit in terms of like, when Juve's out of Champions League, do you support any of the other Italian clubs? And I mean, just in general, I never really do, but I would kind of sway a little bit more towards the other clubs as opposed to Inter. Like Inter, I have no remorse for. They're just not a team that I'd cheer for ever. So yeah, definitely want PSG to win. Hoping Donnarumma pulls through for them. I think he deserves a shot at the UCL. But it is pretty funny. Like they got really too far ahead of themselves. Like they were talking about the tripleta back in like January, and I'm like, guys, you have a lot of games to play still. Like you might want to simmer down a bit, and
Well,
especially in the league.
Intelligence and
Doesn't
Interisi just does not go hand in hand. I'll show you a piece of evidence of what I'm talking about very shortly here, everybody. But yeah, it's an easy call. I also am not going to let Napoli fans off the hook just because they're in ecstasy right now with the victory and everything, okay? Because it's hilarious that they're going out there on social media claiming, oh, you guys passed up on Conte, now you want him after he wins with Napoli. Yeah, that's because despite a good track record even before then, there was teams that passed on him. Milan passed on him, might have been bigger of a mistake for them than anybody. We passed on him. But this is the whole point, Napoli fans. This is his biggest feat. Think about that for a reason. It's because you guys suck. Your roster suck. You were 10th place last season, okay? This was a choke job by Inter, 1,000%. That's got the depth that no team has anywhere near in Serie A. So think about that for a second, you little damn chihuahuas, okay? But I'll let you enjoy your moment. Getting back to Inter, okay, this made me laugh yesterday, okay? So we have an old friend coming back in a daily update video. Sup, Berto? Had to make a new account since you banned my main. I see you're happy we didn't retain our title. You're damn right I'm happy you didn't retain. There. I see you guys had a successful season finishing top 4. Listen, this is so many levels of sad here. The fact that you started another account, by the way, you called it veggies are overrated. Yeah, eat your veggies, you damn stupid Interisti. Veggies are good for you. Now, number 2, you created another account to go on an opposing fan's channel? What? Do you know how sad that is and you're admitting it? The second is, you've now flagged it for me. So guess what you're getting, bud? Hey, start up that third one and use that noggin. And that's why you're probably not so sharp. Eat those damn veggies, man. Eat those veggies. But yes, Inter merda, 1,000%. Okay? Always and forever. Now, in the backside of Serie A, the finale and everything, awards were dished out. So we had players getting their awards. And we'll go through them all. McTominay, obviously, taking down the overall MVP. Was there any discussion, anybody else you probably put in there that you thought should have won it other than McTominay and the way he finished the season? I don't think it can be.
Not for me. I don't think it could
No.
have been anyone else. The goals he scored from the midfield, like it's the stats he put up, and the moments where he scored too, like more than just the stats, just like where he came up in those moments for Napoli and dragged them to the Scudetto. Yeah, I don't think you could put anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to even see anybody else in there. I mean, the way he came in, like you got to give the guy credit. Like he came from a disaster, a tire fire in
Yeah.
Man U, and he just fresh start, and he made the hell. He made the most of it, man. So yeah, you got to
He
give him
got
credit.
12 goals, 6 assists in a Scudetto run for a midfielder in his first season in Serie A. I mean, it'd be hard to go against him there.
Yeah,
In terms of after MVP, we had best goalkeeper, Svilar of Roma, taking it. Solid season from him. They had Milinkovic Savic, David De Gea in there as runners up behind. No love for D grade, despite 14 clean sheets. I think Svilar finished with 16. But any issues with Svilar getting it? I'm okay with Svilar getting it, to be honest.
Yeah, he's another player that dragged Roma through that unbeaten run. I mean, all those 1-0 wins that they got, all him, all his clean sheets. Like he was phenomenal. I agree with Di Gregorio though. I would call him probably the most underrated keeper this season, for sure.
I would have probably said he's up there ahead of Vanja for sure. If you're gonna put him
Yeah.
in
yeah,
that mix, De Gea had a fantastic season for
Mhm.
Fiorentina, but Di Gregorio, 14 clean sheets, and have we seen the backlines that Juve's had to put together in matches throughout this
That's
season?
true. That's
I
that's it.
mean,
true.
if
Yeah,
you put Bremer in there for this season, I think Di Gregorio finishes with probably 20 clean sheets, 21 clean sheets.
Yeah.
So yeah, no love there for him going on runner-up list or anything like that. But we keep going. Defender Bastoni, probably pretty damn clear for Bastoni.
you didn't really
Nuno
have
Tavares was
competition.
getting a shout in there, and then Bongiorno, but Bongiorno had a big injury streak in there
Yeah.
where he missed a bunch that probably took him out of any type of contention. Would have to be Bastoni. Thoughts?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Bremer was in there, it's more of a. I think there's a little bit more competition, you know. So that's what I mean. Like
Well,
Buongiorno,
you can have
well,
this
but
for now, but I'll be back next year, bud, and
yeah,
I'll bring it
exactly.
home.
He's like, keep my seat warm. We'll see you next year. I'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah. And then we've got midfielders. So because McTominay won outright MVP, he cannot win midfielder also. And then it actually went to Reindeers of Milan.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
probably between him, I think Barella's still in the mix there.
Mhm.
So Reindeers, I'm good with it. Actually, 10 goals, 4 assists, I think. Somewhere
Yeah.
in there for Milan. Played like all their matches, I think, pretty much. Huge for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
no
He
issues
was
there.
great. Yeah, no issue with that.
And then I think we just had youngsters with Nico Paz taking it. So Paz
yeah.
taking it over Esposito of Empoli and our own Yildiz. So Paz, I'd probably say, as much as my heart wants to give it to Keenan there, Paz was something else for Como.
I think unfortunately Keenan had those stretches of time where he wasn't playing and wasn't starting, unfortunately. Thank you, Malta, for that. But I think that definitely impacted it for him. But yeah, I think Nico Paz, you got to pick him.
Yeah. And then, best striker, well, Capo Cagnanere about to win it, Retegi.
Taggy.
And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Moise Keane and even Orsolini in there as runners up. But I mean, Retegi. What's he? I think the closest one to him is at 18 goals, and he's at, 24, 25 right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. There's your awards. What Juve player do you think would probably be the closest to getting in their particular category?
I got one right off the hop. and it'll tie into maybe something else that we're gonna get into if we do like for Juve. But I'm gonna go Loca, man. Loca should have been in there for midfielder. I think he was arguably our most consistent player this season. Um, so yeah, I would have to say Loca. I mean, I know some would probably even throw Turam in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
between
So
the
you
two of
got
them,
Aldo
I have
immediately with
no
Loca.
issues.
You've got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taram, and you do have Cugino Eri saying Di Gregorio. Talked
Yeah.
about Di Gregorio there. I think, yeah, Loca and Taram should probably be close in that race, consistently up there, but stats will usually do it. Lex, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. Those are good shouts. I'd probably put Chadam for up for midfielder of the year. Yildiz was up for, best under 23 player. That's a no-brainer as well. And then Di Gregorio for keeper would certainly have been my
If
picks
only
for
we
Juve.
didn't bench Taram for like 5 games straight. Oh, I wonder who did that
Seriously.
too. Probably hurt some there, but it is what it is. Yeah, Loca, Taram, and Di Gregorio are probably the ones that should be close in their respective fields. Now, that's your Serie A awards, everybody. But now we get to the news mix and things heating up around Conte. So yesterday's report from Nico Schira was full power, full control, ready there. Look, Juve says, here's the keys to Turin, buddy. You got the city. It's yours. Come and take it. We're just waiting to find out what's going to happen. De Laurentiis is being De Laurentiis. Stay calm to the people of Napoli. Stay calm. He's on a 3-year contract. We'll start to find out if there's any truth to those rumors that Conte actually holds power in being able to walk away from the situation or not. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But Conte, if you haven't been there, did this sell you? Are you even more sold than you were before? Where are you at with this guy now? What do you want to see happen? Like, Trim, were you locked in on him before? Did this Scudetto victory with Napoli like kind of even seal it more for you?
Oh yeah, I'm sure, if you go back to the beginning of the season, people could pull it up like I'm definitely eating crow now and I got to eat my words because I wanted Mota. I was one of maybe I don't know if you want to say the minority because there was a big group of us
I
that
was
wanted
in there,
Mota
man.
over
I would have done
Conte.
the same. I would have never guessed it'd be that bad.
Yeah,
Ever.
so just based on the way the season played out, based on the fact that, there is a better than a good or a better chance that they can get him because we know how he is. If he's not settled there, he was not really sold 100% on going there in the first place. He wanted Juve. So if there is a chance for him to come to Juve, obviously I would say, yeah, like you go and you take that shot and give him the reins. Now giving him like full control, I don't know. Like, I mean, you could
Yeah.
argue there's a little bit of skepticism there, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to just try it out based on how everything went. Like you see his track record with the league and, he knows the league well. He knows his style of play, I think is a big thing too, because he's not one to deviate from his style of play. Like he has a solid structure, a system, and he'll implement it. He'll get the players for it. I think that's something that's kind of hidden in all this is that like we've gone through a couple different styles of play over the last few seasons and it's been like up and down in terms of roster selection and man management. Like he's going to cut all that shit out and he's just going to bring in like his style and he's just going to hammer it home and whoever can last out of our roster and play his style will stay and whoever can't is out the door. And we need more stability in that area. So I would definitely say bring him in.
There you go. There you go. Lex, does the full power make you nervous or are you fully on board? Where are you at with Conte?
Oh, well said, Trim. I was in your group too, admittedly. Like we all mentioned about Malta and the way that went this season and having doubts about another return with Conte. They were certainly there. I think now at this point, after seeing what he did this season again with Napoli, I just think that he's the guy for the team, for the club right now. I can't think of any manager who would be better. That's what I'm saying. Like, who would be able to bring back mentality? Who would be able to bring back success to the club? Conte is the only one who can do it, honestly. Like, he's done it and he's proven it before, right? Like, did it at Chelsea, did it at Juve before, did it at Napoli now. So he's certainly someone to consider. Oh, thanks for the compliments on the kid.
Yeah.
Also, like you said about having him with full control, that does make me a little bit nervous because we all know Conte is great in the honeymoon phase, first season. He
Yeah.
can become a little bit volatile, and then things can happen. There's falling outs, and then also, concerns with him in Europe. So there are definitely pros and cons to that. But I would be really curious to see how certain players do under Conte, certain players on our squad, because like we mentioned, he has a knack for revamping players' careers. So I think there's a number of people on our team that would definitely benefit from having him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like when I go back and look at the choice, the decision of Motta over Conte and whatnot, it was the idea of getting something fresh and trying to avoid those issues, because even the people that are still on the fence about him coming now, they are right to a degree, because we all know that that's what happens. And it happened this year with Napoli in a Scudetto winning season. You saw the excuses that broke out when that 16-point lead was chewed away at. You saw the way he was talking in the media. You saw the great of Conte, and you saw the absolute worst all in one single season, and that's a title-winning season. These are traits that don't go away. So when we were faced with Motta, that was a younger, exciting option that could maybe get you somewhere without the bullshit. And then you're faced with Conte, where it's like, man, okay, we don't necessarily doubt his building, but man, there's going to be some BS along the way. Do we want to go through this and everything? And can he do it at a club again, returning? Well, I mean, the story's out. This guy is a builder. He's a builder like no other. And you know what? I'm willing to put up with a little bit of bullshit with where Juve's at right now to get me to do something that these guys that keep coming in haven't been able to do, which is actually build. Actually put the team in a better situation than they were before you got there. Conte, I've said this a million times. I don't care if you love him or hate him. He's never left a club in a worse predicament than before he's gone there. Never. Even with the way he leaves. And to be honest, I like the way he leaves, because he packs his bags up that same day and he's out the damn door. There's none of this, like beating around the bush where it's like, no, hey, see you later. I'm gone. Like all you see is a cloud of dust. And I'm cool with that if that's what it comes down to. But like if we get the build, we get it immediately. Let's see. For now, there's going to be a lot of rumors swirling. Did Francesco Totti spill the beans on Antonio Conte? Maybe, in saying that he was asked, who do you want for Roma? And he said, I want Max or Conte, because I believe they are great men and actually two of the best coaches out there. But they have signed for other clubs. Holy hell. I mean, that's pretty direct. And, Allegri's only been rumored with Napoli. So what the hell are we staring down the barrel of next season? Napoli with Allegri and Kevin De Bruyne and Conte coming back to Juve. Like, this could be, the drama writes itself. Serie A will have no idea how to market that, unfortunately. But we'll do it for them. We could be staring down a crazy Serie A next season. Inzaghi potentially leaving. Who's going to take over Inter?
Yeah.
There's crazy scenarios all over the place.
Who's going to coach Roma? They have a new name every day I see on the timeline. It's like, that's a big mystery.
So the Klopp rumors, I had to laugh. Like, I didn't buy in for once. And everybody's like, Klopp to Roma, Juve, what are you doing? I'm like, is anybody actually buying that Klopp is going to Roma? Like, are we serious right now? Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. We always knew he's got such a good job with this Red Bull thing, and he's loving it. It's going to take more than, Roma. Hey, sorry, Roma fans, but it's going to take a lot more than that to get him away from that gig. But that made me laugh. Now, we'll keep things rolling. The Conte thing, we got to wait and see. De Bruyne. Some links with Juve, I guess, that we inquired and everything, but it might be too little too late, because of wages and timing is what Mirko Di Natale stated. And I've said it all along. You had this operation, this plan to get your books right. You're not going to sign these guys until you break the rule that you instilled a few years ago to get the money right, which is the older players and the contracts and the value. I went on the daily update video and I said I would have done it for 6 million net. That's what Napoli's about to sign him for, 6 million net. What are we talking about here? Oh, the injuries. He's 33 years old. First of all, careful, everybody, if you're going to call 33-year-old old with me on the panel right now. Okay, careful. Okay, 33. But listen, it's like that winner, the experience, the pedigree, the skill, the talent. He only missed, what did he miss? 12 games total this past season between Man City and Belgium combined. Okay? At 6 million net, you have a roster that carries an average age of 24 years old. The value as a mentor alone would pay dividends as part of that 6 million net. And if you get him for 50% of the games, that is a win in my books to get a guy of that caliber. We're throwing out Luka Modric out there. The dude is 40. And you know what? I think about it because even for like 45 minutes of a match, you've got absolute class on there. And the guy is like a machine. This guy must be doing blood transfusions daily to keep doing what he's doing because it's crazy. He's still absolute class. But people are talking about Modric. You got to get some experience mixed in. My point is that Juve's approach needs to change now that the books are right. Otherwise, we're not going to sign any of these guys, and you have to mix it in with your roster. What do you guys think? We'll start with Lex here.
Just got to say, I mean, come on, it's De Bruyne. It's KDB. I don't care how old he is. I think Napoli pulling this deal off is scary. It's a bit scary for next season, and like you said, Berto, it's something that I wish Juve was all over. One thing that interests me about that deal is the fact that the rumors are so strong about him signing. However, they haven't really announced how the whole coaching thing is going to play out.
Yeah.
So I'm really that's interesting to me because I'm like, wow, he's really serious about signing, but unless it's already been figured out and it's something that we just aren't aware of yet. But I know he's going to a Scudetto winning squad, but you're potentially going to one that's losing their manager, unless they aren't, right? So I think that is also what I was interested in.
And some of the background is too that it's close. Like the deal's pretty much there. It's very, very close, but there is still one MLS side in there. If they want to pony up big time for it, it's only Chicago that's in on it for them, but they could pony up. And you just never know what could happen because of exactly what Lex said, the coaching position. Outside shots here, so we'll wait. But Trim, what do you think about the whole approach thing and De Bruyne in general?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Juve, I would have tried to get in there as soon as possible, just to at least inquire and see what he's looking for. Because he's on a free, obviously, so it would have been nice to just get ourselves in there and try to sway him to come to the biggest club in Italy and not, settle for those scumbags down there. But I mean, no, in all seriousness, their midfield's going to be pretty stacked next year. I'm curious to see what happens with Anguissa because I know that there are rumors that he might leave. But that being said, him and McTominay are going to be bossing that midfield for Napoli. And yeah, it'll be just like to Lex's point, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the management position there or the manager position there because unless he knows something specific behind the scenes that we don't know yet, I don't know. I find it weird that he'd go there if Conte's leaving, but who's coming in to replace him? That's the thing. Can you see him playing in Allegri's setup? I don't know. That to me, I just laugh because De Bruyne is not an Allegri type of player. So
here's the thing: is the dude he'll be the general. When he's on the pitch, he'll be the general. He'll be the guy on the ball, pulling the strings, calling the shots. That works for any friggin' coach, any friggin' style. You want that guy in the midfield that's I want the ball. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to do it. Juve's been begging for that guy. I see a comment here. He doesn't fit Juve's style of play. It's like, what are we talking about? What do you mean? We've literally looked for that guy the entire season.
What's our style of play?
The entire season. Yeah.
It's, you know what? I don't know what it is.
I just think and again, then you tie in the experience factor and all that. It's like, we're getting experience, but it's not the right experience because it's just guys that have played in the league for a while, etc. Or that was our idea of balancing with the young. Well, that's a different idea of what I have with experience. Like when a winner comes along, and this is usually when you're going to get them a little bit older, cheaper deals or on freeze. We made a living off that, and it was a good strategy. You know who started doing that too? It's like, well, that same one-eyed bastard from the past, you know? So we got to look at things like this still. Anyways, De Bruyne, we'll see. For Jonathan David, whoa, things picked up. Big shout out to Mitch, by the way, gifting an AJC membership. All right, much love there. Everybody get the likes up. Okay, we're rocking and rolling today. High tension going into this game. We are going to get to it. Relax. We got some news, a little bit more. Jonathan David. So rumors were that there's meetings going down like today, tomorrow. Juve's looking to close immediately with Jonathan David. I can't remember how long ago it was, Trim. I was trying to remember when I put that in the members chat. I just sent that text and I was like, heads up, everybody. A big change on Jonathan David. Like, keep your eyes out for him. This is like a month. I'd got to say it's at least a month ago where I said we're not, because everybody was saying we're done and dead with David, like he's going to go so-and-so. I'm like, that's not what I'm hearing. Word on the street was Juve's ramping things up, so let's see. DiMarzio says growing optimism. Mirko said meetings going down like these next couple days. Juve's trying to close. Where are you at with Jonathan David? I'm kind of been at the point where I've gone to a couple weeks ago where I think when you're factoring in price tags and everything, I want us to go after Jonathan David. Trim, you're his agent, so I know what you're gonna say, but fire away anyways, please.
I'm working hard behind the scenes, let's just say, to make this happen. So no, but in all seriousness, like, I mean, I haven't wavered, I haven't changed my thoughts. I think regardless of where he goes, whether he comes to Juve or he goes to another club, I think he's gonna play well, and he's gonna show our fans, if he doesn't come here, that, you know, if we were in the running and we miss out, like, it's a big miss, because the guy's the real deal. Like, again, I'm not putting him as a top 5 striker in the world just yet. He's got to still prove himself a little bit more. But I mean, you could argue he's easily up there in the top 10 if you look at his stats the last bunch of years. Yes, he's playing at was playing at a lesser team in Lille, but look at his Champions League this past season too. Like, he scored against all the big clubs, scored against us for heaven's sake. Yeah. You know, like, he's a great player. But I think the biggest thing with me was I never believed the rumors early in the new year that he was going to ask for like 9 million plus bonus. I don't know. I know that number was thrown out there, and then our fans are all going crazy. Oh, he's overrated. He's not worth it. This and that. I'm like, guys, I think the guy has a little bit of, like, he's got a little bit of sense to him. He knows that, like, this is his big money move. And I think a number of 7 plus bonus is more than fair. Regardless of where he goes. And the only other club that I heard that was really close to him was Napoli, and that would really destroy me if he went there. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pretty upset, but we'll see what happens. I just hope Juve's in there, and I'm hoping his boy Timmy Weah can get in his ear and say, look, come join me over at Juve. You got nothing to lose if you come to our club. We're looking for a 9. We need someone with a little bit of a different profile compared to what we've had in the past, or what we have now with like Dusan. Milik, you know, when he was healthy, like, he's more of like a smaller guy. He likes to track back a lot. He's actually really good on the ball as well. Like, not just his goal scoring, like, he's a good setup guy too. So yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little excited. If we get Conte and we got a 3-5-2 and you got David and Yildiz up top, like, that's scary, man. Not to mention some of the other targets because we're going to sign 2 guys potentially up top, right? So I'm all in.
We'll get into, because we see obviously Osimhen. I don't want to spend the money on Osimhen. I don't want to give Napoli that money. I would love to play games with them, drag it on, only to say no.
I agree.
Gyökeres Juve's interested in Jokeres. Yeah, well, no shit. Everybody is interested in Jokeres. He's got, what, a 60 to 70 million release clause, but he's going to have his pick of the litter. He probably wants to go to the Premier League. But, Lex, what do you think about Jonathan David? You got comments all over the place here in the chat from, we're finished if we sign David. A lot of yeses for David. Comments like from Gio here that, man, the disrespect David gets is crazy. Probably because he's Canadian. And of course we have an all Canadian cast here, so perfect timing for these comments. But Lex, what do you think?
I just saw a comment of I don't want David because I don't have Canadian bias. Yes, we are all Canadian on this panel today, so that definitely plays a role. But to be fair, we do watch him more than the average Juve fan, considerably, because of the national team appearances. But I think like he's been consistently doing well in the French league, which has been nice. Like I think that's definitely a positive to see that, not just like a one season wonder type of thing. I think I would be excited to get him, like you mentioned, in terms of like his output and also in terms of us just needing a change up front. I think that the striker position is going to be the most like decisive position for Juve in this summer mercato for sure, considering we need to sign a striker and also a backup striker because Milik is somewhere. We don't know where, but he's somewhere. So we need to get two strikers playing for Juve. I think like for Jonathan David, I had mentioned it before on the podcast as well. My only concern was when he was kind of like, he was really wanting Barcelona and stuff. Like there's kind of like conversation that he had kind of put out into the media and stuff about that. So concerns that maybe he sees Juve as a stepping stone. I don't know. But I do think that he's an interesting profile for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm just looking at the picks out there, everybody, and it's just like,
that's the other thing.
I don't want to splash. Like, David's kind of makes sense for a number of reasons. The fact he's on a free, yeah, I know there's bonuses and demands in there and stuff. His wage is actually probably going to be in line with where we would be anyways. You still have to get other strikers in. I would like to see a younger guy as a 1B option, and I'd like a veteran to be found, to be brought into the mix. One that's not just any veteran. I want a son of a bitch. I want a son of a bitch attacker adding this side, somebody that defenders don't want to mess with. But Jonathan David, I'm going to throw this out there. I was thinking about this. If Antonio Conte comes in, David's actually good in hold up and like on the ball and holding it up and getting everyone involved. I actually would go as far to say he would be Lukaku on steroids for Antonio Conte because he's so much better technically and he could still not shy away from the physicality side of things if you actually watch him play. And I would go as far to say that for Conte, I would think it would have him forgetting about Romelu Lukaku. I'd go as far to say that. And I would actually be excited about that pairing.
Have you considered the prospect of Lukaku joining with Conte?
I don't want to get to that point yet. So I got to say no. But I don't know. They embraced for it had to be 45 minutes after that freaking Scudetto win. And I'm like, my God, man, I hope he's saying, I'm sorry, I just can't join you where you're going next, Antonio. And Antonio's like, it's okay, man. There's a Canadian kid I got my eyes on, and I think he's going to be a much better version than you. So take care.
Well, there was the huge contrast between their embrace and ADL and Conte. I mean, like the old saying goes, eyes if eyes could tell. Like, I mean, look at just watch that clip over and over
that
again.
That goodbye was painful for me to watch. Like, it was like, a family reunion, and you're like not sure if this guy snuck in. You're like, who is this guy? Who's this? Where did this guy come from? Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Okay, family photo. Yeah, we'll take a picture. And it's just like, get me away from this guy. It was awful. But Lukaku, man, that's a crazy season for him. Double digits in assists and goals.
I've been saying this. This is why I called him the most underrated striker this season, and I got made fun of.
Well, I don't know if I go as far to say most underrated. I mean, but he he quietly went about his business, but I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know about most underrated. He had a good season though. He had
So
a good
he had
season.
a good season, really good season. I
But
think it
when you
was like
bag 3 goals against, I can't remember what bottom feeder was out of those double-digit goals, and you're bagging against, the Muppets of the league, he did score in a couple of big games.
yeah, 6 game winning goals though. 6 game winning goals.
Yes, against
You
Muppets
get it.
because they had a lot of close tie games. So yes. I'm not at the point where I want to think about Lukaku joining, but if we're being like honest and legit, it wouldn't be like the be all end all. But the devil's in the details. Okay, the devil's in the details.
Does he fall into your category of experienced veteran and son of a bitch, or because if he does, then there you go, there's your guy right there.
He's not enough of a son of a bitch only for us because he likes to play goalie for his own
just get
team sometimes in the most critical of moments.
just get the
This
meat on the
year he
field.
put the gloves away, which was good. So that's why Napoli
Yeah.
crossed the line. For Inter though, maybe I should thank him for that because he did play goalie at the most critical moment in that Champions League final.
Right.
So yeah, maybe we got a little bit of room for Lukaku. I don't want to think about that right now. Last, before we get into this critical matchup today, everybody, we got to get into Fagioli's return. Okay? Disaster. Media headlines all over the place. Mental fragility. Fiorentina does not trust him. He's on his way back. They don't want to purchase him at 16 million euros. Said it a million times. Okay? Stop fucking dealing with Fiorentina. Okay? Like the fact that it's a player we sent, it was on a cheap. We should have never done it anyways. That's us following suit with a coach that should have been fucking seen the door sooner. And you say goodbye. We had other midfielders not doing their job on the pitch. And I said, just, he should have been playing more minutes anyways. But for those that disagreed with me, okay, that's fine. You still don't get rid of him because of depth. And because of the fact that it's not a final deal. And you've just sent him to Fiorentina that you were battling for a European place at that moment in time. What the hell are you doing helping other teams in a battle you're currently involved in? And this is how it plays out for us. You send him to Fiorentina. They let the media run wild on this nonsense about mental fragility. Well, I wouldn't even call it nonsense, to be honest, because I've called him out for that, etc. But that's besides the point, is that it's just a disaster every friggin' time for us. Stop it with Fiorentina. And for that, Comuzzo, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Giovanni Leone. All right? Because Fiorentina, I'm done. But what do you think about this whole Fagioli return thing? Trim, Lex, whoever wants to start us off on this.
Well, I think you nailed it. It was just a silly deal, just overall in the first place. This whole thing was just a mess for no reason, especially just for him to just come back after. I think like the media loves to like lay into Fagioli for his whole betting scandal, his mental fragility. I just think that it's too much sometimes. It's just always taking that opportunity, especially if it's like Gazzetta dello Sport. They're just always finding an opportunity to slander a Juve player. So I think that I'm a little tired of that. So I hope that when he does come back, or if he does come back to Juve, that whoever the next manager is, like they can really make it work, because I'm still not giving up on Fagioli. I know maybe it's a tough hill to die on, but I think there's some people that would definitely agree with me. But yeah, those are my thoughts. You nailed it though, Berto. It's just a silly deal.
Yeah. And Trim?
Yeah, not a whole lot more to add to that. I mean, you guys both kind of touched on a bunch of points that I would have made, but the biggest thing for me is, like I just, as much as we want to kind of just be done with it and move on, I think we're in kind of a tough spot based on the way he played and the whole kind of, media background that's been made about the whole situation, right? So I feel like Juve's kind of stuck in a sense with him for next year, but that's not a bad thing because like Lex said and touched on, if it's Conte coming in and he can get the most and the best out of him, I think we can kind of revitalize his career and his future here, right? So I think we're just going to have to wait and see how it all plays out. Let him come back. If and when he does he get into the Club World Cup roster and play? Like, I would love to see him playing in Philly, that's for sure, just to get him back into the groove and into the swing of things. And then, like I said, when the new manager comes in, whoever that may be, or even if it is Tudor, like, hoping that they can kind of, bring out the best in him and then at least bring his value up a bit. And then if you want to move on, then you go from there. But I think we're kind of stuck with him going into next season and got to try to find a way to get him in there.
You got to get this guy's value back up no matter what you want to do. You made decisions out there, and I was, holy shit, did I take hell when I was like, I think I'd keep Rovella out of the bunch when you're talking Miretti and you're talking Fagioli. Those three, I was like, I think I'd keep Rovella out of the bunch. Oh my God. Jesus, I was dodging bullets left, right, and center, okay? But it's how I honestly felt at the time. I thought he had the highest ceiling out of all of them. He's above all of them right now. Fagioli's got a long way to go, but Fagioli scares me up here. Fagioli scares me up here more than any of the other guys. I'm not worried about Rovella. I'm not worried about I'm not worried about Rovella because we gave him away to Lazio for nothing, which was ridiculous too. I'm not worried about Miretti so much mentally, but that's a guy I want to see. I would like to see him at the Club World Cup, but he's actually going to be probably, once he heals from the shoulder, representing the Azzurri in the U21 Euros. So that's going to be him in the summer. And you know what? Fair enough. You could watch him through that, but it's not quite the same. I would have loved to see him with our first team through that Club World Cup and getting some important minutes with us to see what the decision is next season there. The funny thing is, if Miretti could have gotten the one thing that he couldn't get right for us, which was the critical decision making in the final third, he would have been a perfect piece of the puzzle this year, throughout this year. It was literally a spot we needed and a role we were trying to fill, and nobody was doing it, right? So we'll see. But for Fagioli, he's got to get it together, and we got to find a way to, whether you want to get rid of him, his value's at an all-time low. So sort this out, and let's see. But there's a lot of let's see for Juve this summer. But it's going to get even worse if we don't take care of business today. Juve and Venezia, time to talk about this matchup. Everybody, get those likes up. Let's go. Tense times with this game, okay? But obviously we know where Juve sits. Our fate is in our own hands. Win. Take care of business, and that's it. If it's not a win, help. We need help. Okay?
Seriously.
Venezia sitting at 19th. Okay? They're going to be battling to stay alive because they need a victory and they need help as well, even with the victory. Oh, man. Tudor. He's done a lot of good since coming in. Made things simple, okay? Got us playing a certain brand, style, very direct, but he has not been able to win away from home. Venezia's form, well, their form kind of speaks to the fact that they're fighting for life, okay? But they have a fight that's there. Very inconsistent team, okay? If you're talking about player availability, they will be without Idzes, who's suspended. But that's really about it. A few other guys that were like day-to-day in doubts, but nothing really that big or critical. Typically, we'll see Venezia most likely 3-5-2. Yeah, we know how that plays out for Juve. All right, get ready for it, everybody. They are going to just make a compact mid-block, and they're going to force you to the outsides. They are going to take away everything from the middle, force you out there, and they're going to look to strike, and they're going to look to strike quickly in transition. Set pieces is one of their fortes. That's how we conceded against them earlier this season in that stupid goal that we allowed against Venezia. Well, now we get into our back line. Set pieces is their strength. And we get in here. Oh, let me get this mutt out of the way here. Okay. First, we'll show you Venezia. This is what we're looking at, staring down the barrel of Venezia here. Radu in goal. Kande, Shintiene, Marcandelli, Zerbin, Perez, Hans Nicolucci, Cavilla, you could bank on having a game of his life today. Okay, Busio, Ellertson, Yeboah, and Gitkier. Guys, I mean, you got to take care of business, but we know the word should. Yeah, is what it is. They're going to make that mid-compact block, force us to the outsides, and they're going to look to transition quick. That's going to be their game plan, okay? For us, well, this is what Tudor's going to be rocking. Vega, a little bit of muscle fatigue. He is on the squad list. Everybody's in there on the squad list. Cole Miner's even in the squad list. Gatti's in the squad list, but this is your starting 11 projected. Lloyd Kelly in the heart of the three-man back. Tudor going back to 3-4-2-1. Costa, Kelly, Savona. Holy, okay. Just making sure the ticker doesn't jam out on me there. Gonzalez, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso, Conceição, Yildiz, Kolomuani. I'm going to need a minute to start here before I break this thing down. But Lex, Trim, either one of you kick us off on your thoughts with Tudor's rationale here in this critical game.
Go ahead, Lex.
Go ahead. Oh!
You go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, the back line immediately some concern. But that's been a tough spot for us all season, so not surprised. I will say I really was impressed by Alberto last match, so props.
I can ball, damn it.
Makes me really excited to see him back in the lineup. I'd like to see him back in the lineup, but yeah, just that back line is, especially if set pieces are Venezia's specialty. Also, that concern about Tudor not having won a match away from home. Granted, he hasn't been around a super long time this season, so that's to consider, but that's some concern there as well. The fact that Venezia is playing for their life today is also concerning. I'm like, why can't we just get somebody like Cagliari, somebody that's just like done their season? So
I see a trend here. I think it's concerning, everybody. I think it's concerning.
Yeah. Go ahead, Trim.
Yeah, no, all good points. I mean, the only rationale, and I'm trying to give Tudor the benefit of the doubt with that backline selection and putting Kelly specifically in the heart, is maybe because he has a little bit more experience. But I don't know. Personally, like, we've talked about it many times in the previous shows and the previous formations with like Savona on the outside. Like, I almost wonder if you swap the two and put Savona in the middle. I know, again, it's putting a lot of faith in a young guy, but I just feel like, I don't know. I can see him being better suited as the main CB or in the heart of the middle, and then Kelly on the outside, because I like Kelly's speed, but I don't know. Can Savona handle those crosses and those set pieces playing in the middle? That's kind of the gamble that you take. But I don't know. For me, I would be more of the belief that unless Gatti's really struggling in Vega, like, I would have just put the best players on the pitch to start the match. You don't want to take any risks, even if they are playing a little bit hobbled, less than 100%. You don't want to take any chances. I'd rather go up early in a match, and then if those guys have to be pulled out due to injury, then pull them out, right? Just, you can't take any chances. But I mean, you know what? We got to have trust and faith in Tudor that he knows what he's doing. He's going to pull this off, and he's got faith in Kelly. Let's see. Like, I'm reading the chat, and it's funny because a bunch of the viewers are saying, we'll forgive Giuntoli if Kelly puts in a masterclass performance today just to get us by the finish line. But it's, we're asking for a lot, that's for sure.
I'm looking at this, and I'm obviously the immediate thing that jumps out to you, that back line, but I'm guessing Locatelli's going to be hybrid and dropping back. Yeah, so Costa will have some freedom there. It still presents some awkwardness. Just because it still feels like a little bit extra there, but you got Savona, who does make sense as one of an outside center back in a back three. Costa does not, but that's what's telling me Locatelli is going to be dropping back, and Costa will be given that freedom, pushing everybody else up top. But it's still very, very strange.
Yeah.
Do you go 4-4-2 and just use a midfielder as one of your center backs? Do you just use Locatelli as an outright
You
center back
could.
in a two-man
Yeah.
setup to make a back four and play 4-4-2 and still have Cambiasso and Costa bombing up like they did and offer push for Nico and Chico, etc.? I mean, that's probably a safer play than this. Fuck, if there's one thing you could say about Tudor, you definitely can't question whether he's got balls or not, because this is ballsy. Like, this is ballsy. That is
Yeah.
that's a
Back
sight to
three
behold
is
for a back line, man. Jesus. I think the only way you step that one up is if you had a back three of Felipe Melo, Jonathan Zabina, and frickin' take your pick there, Desheli Melberg or something. I don't know. That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Whew.
yeah.
Testicular fortitude from Tudor at an all-time high. And hopefully it pays out because we got to take care of business. Right now, we'll set the Tony in this matchup. Andrea Colombo, 46 Serie A appearances will be the official for this game. High stakes matchup, the 60 million euro match, because Champions League qualification is on the line for Juve. It's actually going to be more because you always take a little bit more through performance bonuses and stuff. This year we took almost 80 million out of the comp, but 46 appearances, 5.3 yellows per game, 10 red cards dished out in 46 appearances. Jesus. 6 PKs. Andrea Colombo. All right.
Oh.
All right. Let's see. Prediction time, and then we'll get to some Storm the Barn. Yes, everybody, there is a watch along 20 minutes before kickoff. All right. I want to see you all there with me, sharing in the action, taking in this game. We're going to go through it together, all this tension. Now, Lex, first up. Prediction time. Yeah. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Giddy up.
Oh, man. Okay. Juve win. Because we're manifesting positivity here. And we need this to happen. Like you said, all we have to do is win. I'm going to go with 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Juve.
I think Venezia are going to score off of a set piece. Continuing with that trend, off of a corner kick. Going to let some type of squeaky corner kick goal in. And then the other tiebreaker is going to be, I think we're going to see a Yildiz goal today.
Nice.
I think that's going to be it. Yeah, this is what I'm hoping, guys, right?
All right. Trim, where are you at?
So I'm definitely going with the boys to get it done today. Like I said, I'm not as nervous as everybody else, but I know come an hour before kickoff, it's going to all come and hit me, and then I'm like, oh, here we go. So the score that jumps off the page at me is 2-0 Juve. My tiebreakers are going to be that we get one in each half. Goal scorers Yildiz, and I'm going to go Kolo Muani on a PK. I think Juve gets a PK, and that's going to be the one that puts us over the top and puts us through in the second half. So 2-0 Juve, Yildiz, Kolo, PK, and one in each half.
All right. Let's see where everybody's kind of at here. We got DJ Cammy V with a 1-0 nail biter for Juve. Gio coming in here 2-1. Mitch 4-3 Juventus. Holy, wow. A 7-goal. I might be dead by the end of that watch along, but hey, if we're in and qualified, that's all the relief I need. Michael G 1-0 Juve. Yildiz goal first half. 3-2 late goal from Yildiz. 3-0 Juve, full faith. Maddie, my boy, nice. Let's go. It's going to be 3-0 from Julio.
Wow.
Okay. 2-0 Juve, own goal and penalty. for the goals. 3-0, Chico late goal. 2-0, Cambiasso and Chico. All right, 3-1 Juve. Yildiz, Colo, Yildiz score. All right, 3-2 Juve, another one in here. 2-0, 1-0. Hat-trick from Alberto.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go, Nick Rossi. Come on.
Yes.
Come on. Always. Listen, I'm going 2-0. The same prediction as Trim. That's the scoreline I'm thinking we're going to end up seeing. And I'm just going to say get ready for the Keenan Yildiz show because he is going to put on a fucking clinic. And this will be one of those performances where you're like, you know what? There's the young gun. There's the phenom. All the talk about Champions League qualification. What's going to happen? Oh, we could potentially sell him if we don't qualify. All this nonsense. Keenan's going to be like, you know what? You won't even have to think about it, everybody. So I'm about to put the team on my back. Keenan Yildiz with a brace, 2-0 Juve. And they to the haters. Okay? Let's go. Let's go. Got myself fired up for my own damn prediction. That's how you do it, everybody. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hopefully, that's how it pans out. If it doesn't, then we just see. And yes, you just pray that we get the help that we would need, whatever happens. But I think the lads get the job done. It's funny. We talk about, you know, the nervousness, obviously, terrifying feeling looking at that back line and everything. But I really do have faith in that one element that Tudor's brought, which is the solidity defensively, no matter who's been mixed up, mashed up, and all these decisions he makes, they've ended up working out. And the one thing that's never faded is that we're tough to crack. Of all of the teams that face Tudor, etc., we haven't really conceded a lot of, like, we've conceded some stupid goals at the start, but we've cleaned things up decently. Set pieces, I am still nervous on. So let's see how that goes down today. I can see something happening there. But outside of that, I think Venezia will struggle to find areas and avenues to hurt us in attack. So let's see. Let's see. Storm the Barn. Always love Storm the Barn. And we do have time for Storm the Barn. We always got time for Storm the Barn. Come on. George. Even though I always give Conte credit for how good he is in the league, this year was more of an inter-bottle job in my opinion. Conte getting 82 points with the squad is still beyond impressive though. Well, that's the thing, right? Is at the end of the day, you have an 82-point Scudetto winner. So it tells you a lot about the race, the battle, whatever, for the title. But Inter by far has so much friggin' depth that it is a bottle job for them. If they weren't in that Champions League final, all hell would be breaking loose at Inter right now with the squad they have. So you're absolutely right. But is that one of the lowest point? Like, I know the lowest point total 3-point era for Scudetto is Lazio, 69 points. I'm pretty sure. Imagine winning a Scudetto with 69 friggin' points. Jeez. But yeah, this one was it was a weird one. Don't forget, Napoli bottled like a big lead too. They had a healthy lead at one point, double digits. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Adam, oh boy, I have a feeling we got a card coming up here. I used to work in construction, and one time we were building a house for our current Juve manager, Igor. When all was done, my boss came by and was super upset with the one-door entrance. Huh? Oh, because it needed to be two-door.
One door.
Oh my god. That is straight red, dude. Straight friggin' red. Like, no. That is so bad. So bad.
Oh my god.
Yikes, Adam. He's had way better. Yeah, straight red. We're not. Adam. My goodness, man. My goodness. If you were to write a book on Jurassic Skanga, what would the title be? Oh my god. Old and no knees. That's it. Lost at the park. Pantless. One of those two. Skanga running the main today, by the way, on Twitter. Godspeed, man.
I love when
boy.
Skanga runs the main.
I'd much rather take the watch along than Twitter is a cesspool on match days. Holy. Can we say that Conte has matured? Yes, he used to explore before, but now if he gets full control, do you guys think he might be a manager for more than that expected 2 to 3 year period? That's a crazy question because the guy will always remain a wild card. That's Conte for you. Who the hell knows? Like, who the hell knows? Remember at the start when we were like, oh man, Jesus, the way it started for now, we're like, he's going to be gone in the first month. Like, he's walking out.
Yeah.
It's, you never know with
Crazy.
this guy. He's a madman. He really is. He's a madman. He's a wild man. Nobody tames Antonio Conte. Like, you just don't do it. I don't know. It's an interesting question, though, if you think it will be different now because he's wanted it, and we've turned him down twice. When he went to Inter because of Agnelli, and then last season because we went with Malta. We've said no twice. And I think I even said this to somebody. I said, Juve's going to probably have to stroke his ego a bit to get him like to really clamp down and come back, but maybe he just wants it so bad he doesn't even care about those situations. I don't know. Somebody said if you have to stroke his ego, then say no, forget it, and go somewhere else. It's a tough call all around.
I think you take him either way at this point. Like, I don't know. There's really not much else out there. There's no other option that I think that's really viable right now. I mean, if disaster strikes and he ends up staying, what do you do? That's kind of where I'm at.
I'd be keeping Tudor.
Yeah.
I think so far, unless things go catastrophically wrong all of a sudden. Like, I've been pretty impressed with his work. I like the way he speaks. It says a lot about what he's trying to do with the team and the mentality he's trying to bring to them. I'm kind of at like Conte or Tudor right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Lex?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I still think you take Conte back at this point. It's an interesting question, though. The whole full control thing is interesting in general. Like, wasn't Allegri
We don't know
supposed
what
to
does
have
it
full
entail.
control?
What does full control
That's what
actually
I'm
mean?
saying. Yeah, like, wasn't Allegri supposed to have that? Remember way back when we brought him back? It was like kind of in his rumors as well. So like, is it even like a real thing? Like, is it just like a made up thing for the transfer rumor? I don't know. It's interesting.
We just gotta wait and see, everybody. Just gotta wait and see. If Conte comes in, who is the player you're the most interested in seeing play under him? Mine is Cambiaso. Conte's fullbacks are always performing on an extremely high level. So who do you look forward to seeing if Conte should pick?
That's a great pick, first of all, and a good question. Cambiaso, definitely. Thuram is one of them for me, for sure. And I've had to go with another. Miretti. Someone shouted out Miretti. Yes, that is also another player. Yeah,
I
good
said
pick.
Gatti.
Oh.
And I think Gatti is like fucking... He's going to become a brick house with frickin' Conte. I just have a feeling.
Yeah,
But
those are all good shouts. I'm going to go with my boy because he came in and you could argue he's our flop of the season, but I'm going to go with Coop Miners. I really want to see this guy under Conte. I think this guy's just going to be shot right out of a cannon if he sticks around. So I'm sticking with Coop, and I'm just like clutching to that, and I'm hoping that Conte comes in, and then I want to see him just cook and just see what everybody has to say next year.
Hanging with Coop.
Yeah, I'm hanging with Coop.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good pick. I don't know. You know, if someone needs their career revamped, there's nobody better than Conte.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This one's kind of similar. Who would thrive under Conte on our roster? Flop with him on our roster. Which transfer targets of our... Okay, this is quite a bit for one here. Let's go with Okay, who do you think it might have a negative impact on if we're gonna pick flop? We just said who we think would thrive. Who do we think would flop? That's one of them in here. And then for transfer target, who do you think makes the most sense for Conte? So who would flop? Who do I think would flop? Ooh. I actually think if I had to pick somebody that would flop, I might go back to somebody everybody was thinking Conte would elevate and whatever, but I have to say maybe Fagioli. I think Fagioli might crack under the pressure and the whip from Antonio. I don't know if he's cut for it. We'd find out. But I would just throw him out there as one that stands out as maybe flopping. For targets, I'm telling you, David. David for Conte.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Gutierrez is a great shout, though. Gutierrez would be good. Dan and Doy, hell no. Okay, these rumors for 40 million, and we would incorporate like, what are we talking about here?
Not for the price. He's a great player. I
love Dan and Doy, but
I'd take him, but not for that
40
price.
million?
No, not that price.
Yeah.
They got to bring it down. If not, the hell with Bologna. But I don't know. I like him. I think he's...
Jesus Christ, if he's worth 40 million, I'm at 55 for current value on the market. That's insane. That's insanity. Jesus. You can have a bag of match balls, okay, for Dan and Doy. Jesus Christ, Bologna. And I just threw out all the Havarti in my fridge when I heard it was 40 million because I got to stop giving these guys money, okay? Saputo, get out of here. What the hell? What the hell are we talking about? 40 million. You got way too much money, so I'm not buying your goddamn cheese anymore, Saputo, okay?
Yeah,
get lost. Jesus. Honestly, after winning Scudetto, getting him Kevin De Bruyne, do you think Conte will leave Napoli? Yes, no. I think no. I think he's gone.
You know, the way, like you said, that clip of him and ADL in the Scudetto celebrations on the pitch after the match, that was the craziest. Like, even my mom was like, wow, he really doesn't like that guy. Like, not even being like a huge
Dude, De Laurentiis, when he literally says, well, you know, nobody wants to think that their partner has been unfaithful or whatnot, but if somebody feels that they're in a situation where they're suffering, then they need to leave and clear their minds. What the hell is that? Are you talking about Conte? Like, are you like, it was wild for the first part, but I mean, it's broken. It is broken. Yeah. That guy Conte couldn't be bothered to hug that guy during those. I think it's gone. It's gone.
It's a fair shout to say that he could stay, but I don't know, man. Like, we're Juve. We got to flex a bit and be like, no, this guy's coming back. Like, we're taking him. We're just going to snatch him right from underneath their nose and just take him back. So no, I think he's gone.
Yeah. Like when De Laurentiis was talking like that, for me, it's the awkward embrace. It's the Totti thing where he's like, oh no, they've already signed. It's everything along the way. It's our targets. It's like we're going after like trainers that all have ties to Conte. Bonucci, who Conte wanted at his training staff with Napoli this season. All of it. Oriali. Matt brings up Oriali when Oriali's like, you know what? I can't go where he goes next. Why? Because that guy's ingrained in Inter's friggin' history, and he knows he can't come here. Okay?
Yeah, you know,
unless he sits next to Marco at the frickin' matches, that's the only way he's gonna make it in Turin. Okay? Because Juve fans hate Inter. It's the way it should be. It's just that's authenticity. It's the way it is.
I think with Conte too, it would be like a good time for him to leave. Like, leave while you're on top. Like, I don't see him being successful next season, balancing, like I said, both competitions and not with ADL, that stuff. I think that, yeah, he should just leave now, leave on a high. I can see him doing it.
Yeah, it's for his ego too. Exactly. Serie A Manager of the Year, Conte or Ranieri? So Conte got it, eh? So Conte got it, 10th place, up to the Scudetto, but Ranieri, man, wow.
Yeah. He did a hell of a job.
That's a great
That's
question, like a super great question. It's almost interesting that they give it out before the last final match day because I
he,
feel like that still factors into
he,
things, especially
here's
this
one of
season.
the things that I think, like, man, Ranieri had the best, like, he had the best record of all the teams since he came in. He
Yeah.
had the better record than
Yeah.
any other club. Like, that's just shows you how bad they were to where they are now.
Yeah.
But like, he had the best record in 2025. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
of all the teams.
Roma won the calendar year Scudetto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so they could put that in that cabinet right next to the bonsai tree. But we got the fact is that like that job's insane, and I think honestly we have to remember that Conte won the league with a team that was 10th, but they shouldn't have been 10th.
Yes.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like they had
Yeah.
the shittiest title reign of like ever. And that was a disaster on its own. But he didn't necessarily take a 10th place team to the Scudetto. He took a 1 year past Scudetto winner that broke down, you know?
Conte's smart.
It's kind of tough. Like it's hard, but again, the trophies will probably follow the winners and stuff. But Ranieri is just class. He's just class, class dude. Which of the following would you most want to see at Juve? Modric, De Bruyne, or Muller? De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
Yeah, I think if you're going based on just
I
like
love
current.
Modric, man.
I was just gonna say, see, I was gonna pick Modric, but it's just his age, right? He's
I know.
like he can still contribute, but it's not gonna be to the same effect or the same level. But if we're talking like 5 years ago, you'd argue Modric for sure, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
those are all three really good shouts, and just the experience alone, like they've all been winners at whether it's internationally or for club. Like that's kind of why, to your point, Al, like if we're not in there, at least trying to sniff around to bring him in, like even for just purely for vibes. You're telling me bringing Modric in and then maybe get the ADP in there. Like
I love Gio here.
yeah.
I don't care if he's 55. He says Modric. Modric. You know
Yeah.
what? Probably at 55, he'd still be balling out, man. This guy's crazy. Crazy. But we'll see. Gyökeres would be the dream signing for Conte, I'd say. He has the same brute force and is able to link up play like Lukaku, but he's way faster and a much more clinical finisher than Lukaku is. I mean, my neighbor's dog's more clinical finisher than Lukaku, so that's saying that. But yeah, I mean, Gyökeres, I'd love Gyökeres. I've haven't paid much attention to this guy for a while because it just seems Premier League is the place. So it is what it is. I've never even really factored him into the mix. It almost feels like that's part of the reason why you never really get rumors. Like even the last rumor we got, it's like, oh yeah, Juve's interested. They've inquired and everything, but it's like, well, you don't inquire on a guy that's got that much interest. You either go in and you're like, hey, would you consider like coming here? Like, are you interested, or do you have your mind made up already? Like, where are you at? You know, just like, oh yeah, we're interested. No shit.
The guy is an absolute beast, though. That's why, like, it would have been really interesting to see him, even just in Serie A in general. But yeah, I think there's just too many Premier League teams in competition for him, so they're just going to outbid everybody just to try to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of him having desire to come here.
Yeah, I agree.
Should they have done a 4-man D with Costa, Savona, Kelly, Cambiaso? Maybe it is going to be a 4-man D with those. They're all in the lineup. Let's wait to see how it plays out.
I think that's more likely. Yeah. Alberto in a back three was like weird. Sorry, Berto.
Well, no, hey, I'm a bomber. Okay, let me run. You can't tame Berto. You can't tame Conte. Okay, let me run wild. Let's go. I also think it is better. They need a victory so they won't sit too deep. Thoughts. So Mitch basically saying it's better that Venezia has something to play for because that should open them up a bit. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think they're still gonna. We still got good, healthy firepower in there, and I think if they open themselves up, they know that's just gonna maybe be playing with too much fire. Especially when you look at the lineup. No disrespect to Venezia, but yeah, I'm gonna disrespect you a bit. They got to realize they're probably going to be shooting themselves in the foot there. I think the game plan for them is to keep it tight, keep it close, and try to strike, especially if their strength is set pieces.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're chomping at the bit when you look at us. The game will be transition, get foul here and there, and flood that box and give her hell, right? That's what I'm expecting anyways. We'll see. We'll find out if I'm right or wrong. Love to be wrong, love to be open, and love for us to torch them. Would you do a straight swap, Louise and Coat Miners for Tonali?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I would.
Straight swap. Jesus.
Yes, that's an answer.
That fucking roasts us on the books, man. A straight swap for both, but I mean, Jesus. If the books come out all right, sure. If the books come out all right, sure. Louise is like gone, so really you're swapping Coat Miners for Tonali.
Yeah.
So if the books are happy with it, yes. Yes. In a vacuum, yes. Just like Matt just put it there. In a vacuum, yes.
Yeah, I'd be totally contradicting myself if I said yes, so I have to say no. But like my head is like saying you do it, but it's just because it's the 2-for-1. Like if it was just Louise, I mean that's obviously an easy answer. But to throw Coop in there too, it's just hard for me at this point to say yes 100%. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah. So in a vacuum, yes. But like I said, given what we're taken for value and stuff like that, that might be ugly. Devil's always in the details. Oh, yes, I love this one. If Chico plays a big game, do we keep him? I want to keep him anyways. Like, and last game, my God, was he ever good last game? Jesus. Like, I said, I've always been curious to see him roaming more and not so stuck and glued to like a wing and everything, but the fight he has tracking back and everything too, and the defensive work, like he's like another Nico Gonzalez for me. Like he really is. It's just that their traits in the final third are a lot different. We're trying to get him for 20 million. His release clause is 30. Okay? Like 30 is still cheap in the grand scheme of things. Can we not settle on 25? Can we not settle at 25? Can we not find a deal with Porto here and just say, fuck, we paid you 10 million for his loan this year. Here's another 25 and we're done instead of another 30. Like, I'd like to see him retained. I think he's a talented player, and I think you hone in on this guy, and I think you could have an absolute demon on your hands. That's me. Lex?
Yeah, go ahead, Lex.
Trim?
It's tough. I mean, I think for, like you said, that price, like, it's a decent price, like, to keep them for sure. And there's certain things, like, I know we talk about this a lot, but, like, certain things in his game that need tweaking, like, decision-making. Sometimes he's a little bit too much of, like, a road runner for me personally, in terms of where he just, like, dribbles and just head down goes. But, like, I mean, if you see him shoot on goal, it's lethal. His shot's incredible. Like, I think, like, if just with a little more direction, he could, be a good, interesting profile to keep. What do you think, Trim?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And I think, like you always say, Berto, the devil's in the details. But not only that, again, not to, like, think too far ahead, but it depends on the manager that comes in. So, for example, if Conte comes in, if he plays predominantly a 3-5-2, where do you see him lining up in that formation? Would he be a wing back on the outside, or would he be up top? That's part of the problem too, right? So for me, I'm trying to like factor that in because, you know, to be fair to Conte actually as well, there were times where he played a 3-4-3 this year as well, right? So like if he's switching up his formation, there might be more opportunity for a guy like Chico. The player himself, I like him. I think he's definitely worth the price tag. But to your point, like, with Porto, just come to an agreement to add 25 instead of 30. Like, We already gave you 10, so you're saying he's valued more at 40 than 35. I think 35 is a fair number for him. You know what I mean? Like in total with the loan and the final price tag. So we'll see what happens, but it'll just ultimately, I think, depend on
I
the
think you
manager.
can't be locked into 3-5-2 just in general. I mean,
Yeah.
like even Tudor was 3-5-2, then it's 3-4-3, then it's 3-4-2-1. Like I mean, you have to have flexibility. We can't say no to talents because of one type of setup. It was my argument all those years with Dybala. I made that argument a million times. I'm like, you don't just say we're set in stone, this is it. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make exceptions to the guys you have. And funny enough, Mr. Ancelotti himself said that's when he evolved as a manager. When he's like, I need to scrap this 4-4-2. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But he scrapped the 4-4-2. He's like, I started realizing, like, I got players. I need to put them on the field. I need to figure out what works for them. And that's the reality of it. And Conte, one of the reasons he shocked the hell out of me this year, and all the stuff I was saying about Napoli and Conte and not buying into them being a Scudetto force this season. Number one, I didn't think Inter would finish with less than 82 points this year. Number two, I didn't think he had the players to do what he's done everywhere else, and he switched it up. And he went 4-3-3 for a majority of the season when he had to, and it's a big feather in his cap on something that he's always been, hit and lashed out up for, is that, it's the same thing. It's one thing and one thing only. Well, sorry, but he hit with like 4 different formations this season. So
great point. He's evolved, definitely. That back four he played, he ran for a lot of the season. And yeah, because that's, like you said, a big point against Conte was that he was stuck in his ways. And Napoli played on the forefront too. They also play, like you said, in a direct attacking way. So I don't know.
So I think if you make a decision on Chico, you make a decision on Chico and the man, the player, and you don't necessarily worry about that so much. But that's just me. That's just me. Why do we need Conte if Tudor does his job? Why can't we have him build a team? I think it's because of the simple fact that we have fallen behind. And if he opens himself up, what are the percentages of a build working out better between Conte or Tudor? You now have Tudor, no disrespect to him. I love Tudor. But you have a manager becoming available that literally, again, 5 out of 6 seasons he's managed has brought a Scudetto home to his respected sides. Actually not respected because one of those was Merda. So, I mean, you're playing the percentages is what you're doing. And it could be a shitty spot, but Tudor took it on with no guarantees. He knew what he was signing up for. I respect the hell out of the guy. I love the guy. I feel, and I said it a while ago. I said Juve could be creating its own kind of controversial decision in this setup, because if Conte does walk away from Napoli and becomes available and sits there, do you dare let him go to another team and pass you again?
Yeah,
No.
Could you imagine he goes to Milan and they pass us in a season?
Yes, that's exactly it. I know.
Like,
it's like we already passed up on him once, and like look what he did.
He's passed us each time with those teams.
Yeah.
Allegri hung on for 1 year, and then they passed us, right? It's like you gotta take that. You gotta take that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, guys. There's some more Storm the Barns in here. There's great stuff, but I mean, we've run overtime. Very, very high tension times right now. Oh, our predictions are all positive. We're trying to manifest the victory. We got to take care of business. Let's hope for the lads. Let's hope for that back line to hold up. It is Venezia, but they got a lot to play for too. They're fighting for their lives. This isn't going to be easy, okay? Don't get sucked into the beautiful scenery either, Juve, okay? All right?
It's true.
Focus, goddammit.
Please.
Focus.
Yeah.
Cool stadium, cool venue. It's cool for Serie A. Spots like that, spots like Como. Obviously, Como's drawn a lot of attention, a lot of celebrities and stuff there. All that's good for the league, okay? Inter winning, never good for the league, okay? God damn it. People, stop attacking me for calling it the way it is. Okay, what is this? I'd rather see an Italian win Champions League than a French team. No, not if it's Inter. God damn it. Okay, let's take care of business today. I'm nervous for this one. 20 minutes before kickoff. You know where to be. Live watch along. Lex, Trim, been an absolute pleasure. Any closing statements, closing thoughts? We're going to have a year-end review, a fun show. Try to get a bunch of the cast on, as always. But closing thoughts, closing statements? Anything?
For me, it hasn't been the season that we probably all hoped for. And, we were all really optimistic coming into it with Malta. But at the end of the day, just win, baby. That's it. Just win this game and we'll put it all to bed and we can start to move on into the post game tomorrow and start looking ahead to the future to try to build on making top four. It's we're not going to celebrate it like we won a trophy, but just win. That's it. Just win today. Put it all behind us and let's start to move forward.
We'll celebrate because it'll be relief. Relief to just get that get that goal, get that thing. And our certain people in upper management need to stop calling it an objective. It's not an objective. That's bare minimum. Okay, I'll remind him. But Giorgione, Chiellini, he'll remind them all. Lex, closing thoughts.
This reminds me of the Pirlo season. I remember Quadrado was like looking at the ball boy's phone at the results of the other games.
We needed help. We needed help, for God's sakes. At least now it's in our hands.
That's exactly it. Yes. Juve just get the job done, win. Champions League's huge for the future for this club and the team. And thank you so much to everyone for your comments. It was a really fun show. And thank you for the viewership and everything. We appreciate the support. And thank you, Berto and Trim. It was a great show.
Yes. Absolute pleasure. As always, you guys go do whatever you do for good luck. Okay? Let's bring in all the positive vibes. We will see you in a bit. Berto, my wife just said 2-1 for Juve. Pino, I hope she's right. Hope she's right. We'll see you on the watch along. Take care, everybody. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao, ciao.